So the question literally all of you have been asking is, are two of these RX 480s as good, if not better, than a GTX 1080? Well, I've got two of these and I've got one of these, so let's stick them in the system and find out. So the cards I'll be using are two reference RX 480s. These are the 4GB models with the 6-pin power connector and obviously the blower style design. These run at about 80 degrees C, although actually end up drawing about the same amount of power as the GTX 1080 when you have both of them in. So I'm actually really impressed with that. The 1080 I'll be using is the Gigabyte G1 card. Both of these are non-overclocked in the sense that they are out of the box, they're a stock frequency, so while the G1 does have an overclock more than the standard Founders Edition card, I've not overclocked this card specifically any more than it should be, so this is the sort of performance you can expect from the majority of aftermarket cards as far as my testing has gone. As I said, in terms of this one, again, it's stock clocks, except for obviously the boost that it does itself, but I have not manually changed any of the settings to run this any faster. Also, a real quick sort of caveat to this whole thing is that until DirectX 12 explicit multi-adapter support is in every game, which it obviously never will be because old games exist, one card will pretty much always, or at least for a lot of scenarios, will be better as a everyday, day-to-day use case. Explicitly because these cards, especially with two of them, you'll need very good driver and game support. Obviously older games might not support Crossfire, or at least Crossfire as well, so you may end up with the performance of just one of these cards, which still is fantastic, it's awesome, but if you are after GTX 1080 performance all of the time, then a GTX 1080 is the one you should probably get, because for example GTA 5 when running at 4K, obviously this is at a time of filming so driver support may have improved this, but this crashed a lot. So with two cards in, it was running through the benchmark and then it would crash sort of midway through. So it was actually quite difficult to get the 4K benchmark number for this, but I did manage to do it, don't worry. And you also get things like Unity Heaven that just doesn't seem to support Crossfire. Also Doom didn't seem to support Crossfire all that well. So especially at 4K, these cards weren't running as fantastic as they should be. So do bear that in mind as well. But yeah, without further ado, let's jump onto the numbers. So with that in mind, you can see these numbers are actually pretty impressive. In 3D Mark Firestrike, this did a really good job on both 4K and 1080p, but giving basically the same numbers as the 1080. In Dirt Rally at 4K, it was pretty much exactly the same. With at 1080p though, it was a little bit less, about 10 FPS less, which is interesting. I believe this will be likely improved with driver sort of improvements and updates. Same with GTA, basically the same at 4K and a little bit less at 1080p. Doom and Unity Heaven are two titles that don't seem to work perfectly well with Crossfire at this point, although as I said, driver improvements and updates will definitely make this work a lot better, so it just kind of takes a little bit more time with these sort of things. But in terms of the the first three, I'm actually really impressed with this. You're looking at basically the same performance as a GTX 1080, especially at 4K. So there you have it, two RX 480s for the majority of titles that have decent Crossfire support or DirectX 12 support. Actually outperform, or at least very similarly perform, a GTX 1080. Now obviously there are, as I said, caveats at the start, so if a game doesn't support Crossfire or DirectX 12 all that well, then these cards will only be running at the performance of one of them, but at the current price of £300 difference between two of these versus one of these, if you get the 4GB model obviously, that's possibly a price worth paying. That's a really awesome jump, and considering that a GTX 1080 is a little bit less in performance than these, but obviously will have the benefit of running a little bit smoother with less sort of driver support and Crossfire support needed, but obviously running at the sort of lower power wattage as well. It's something to consider. Obviously if you have about £400 to spend, which is the price of two of these at this point in time, then it's an awesome shout. It looks awesome. You only need 6-pin power connectors depending on which model you get. And yeah, it's just awesome. Obviously these do run at about 80 degrees, so do bear that in mind as well, as they will be pushing a lot of heat into your room, but a GTX 1070 might actually be a really good shout if you don't mind a slight performance hit, but a bit more stability. if you are really awesome and just, you know, rich, then you can buy one of these. These are still very awesome cards, and I do highly recommend them. I actually really like the Strix 1080, and I should have a MSI card very, very shortly for you guys to check out. If you haven't already seen that, I don't know when that will specifically come out yet, but yeah, either way, I guess that kind of concludes that. Now the real awesome thing about this is I get to give one of these cards away. Now we're still confirming everything, so check the link in the description down below to enter the giveaway. It's going to be a Gleam giveaway. It'll be a random entry, random winner, and we're going to have all the T's and C's in the Gleam giveaway, so check that out before you enter to make sure that everything is still all good for you. Also, don't forget that there is still the Dino PC giveaway, so if you don't win this one, you can still have a chance to win the Dino PC one. This one will also be running for a month as of today, so, you know, check the Gleam link in the description down below. But yeah, go check out the Dino PC giveaway with an RX 480 system, as well as also the card itself. And yeah, check out this in the links down below. So I guess that's kind of it. I hope you enjoyed it. Feel free to subscribe if you did, and if you're interested in the results, feel free to comment down below as well. And yeah, don't forget to use my AMD affiliate link. It genuinely helps me out and keeps these videos running. As I said, don't forget to share the video as well. It does genuinely help me. The more views I get, the more people, including people like AMD and Gigabyte, are interested in working with me, so that would be awesome too. Other than that, yeah, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all in the next video.